I got tax changes, and these tax changes are going to be huge. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about 5 ways that Donald Trump's tax proposals are going to affect you. Policy number 1, Donald Trump wants to simplify the income tax brackets. And it sounds great because right now we have 7 tax brackets ranging from 10 to 39%. Donald Trump is looking to propose to change it to only 3 tax brackets, going from 12 to 33. It sounds great at first, but then you realize the lowest Americans are going to be paying a little bit more in tax, from 10 to 12, and the highest earning Americans are going to be paying much less tax, from 39 down to 33. In addition, Donald Trump is looking to eliminate the head of household filing status. And if you're wondering what that is, it's basically a tax filing status that allows single parents with child dependents or any other type of dependents that they have claimed to qualify for a lower tax rate and also a higher standard deduction, resulting in the ability to pay less in taxes. By eliminating that, Donald Trump's proposals will disproportionately affect single parents. Not a huge fan of that one. Number 2, Donald Trump is looking to cut business tax rates. Finally, a tax break for us small business owners, or is it? Presently, corporations pay 35%, and Trump wants to propose to cut that tax rate down to 15%. And it sounds great because it's going to allow companies to hold on to more profit and not pay as much into the government, which hopefully brings more jobs back to the US. It sounds great, but you start looking into it and you realize that it's really only going to affect the largest corporations of the US. The majority of small business owners are not running as what they call a C corporation that would be able to take advantage of these benefits. They're operating as S corps or limited liability companies or sole proprietors, and those tax cuts to corporations are not going to be available to the majority of small businesses. In addition, in response to cutting the tax rate, Donald Trump is looking to eliminate a lot of credits and deductions, which makes sense for a corporation, but for small business owners that don't get that big tax break anymore, we also are not going to be able to take advantage of some of the deductions and credits that are available to us now. So for small business owners like myself, Donald Trump's business tax policy isn't a great deal for us either. But for the biggest corporations, awesome. All right, let's look at number 3, guys. Donald Trump wants to change the standard deduction and he wants to increase it. Now, let me first clarify what the standard deduction is. The standard deduction is a line item that you can deduct off of your total adjusted gross income to help you reduce your tax liability. It's in replacement of things where you need to add up things, for example, like mortgage interest deduction, medical expenses, property tax you pay, charitable contributions. And instead of adding all of those up, you could just take the standard deduction. So presently, as a single taxpayer, we have a $7,800, $7,850 of a standard deduction. Donald Trump is looking to propose a change that to $15,000. Now, if you're married filing joint, your standard deduction would be $12,800, and he wants to change it to $30,000. If you're head of household in the present tax code, unfortunately, you would probably have to fall under the single taxpayer. With that being said, this vast increase in a standard deduction will benefit the majority of Americans out there. It's a great thing to help reduce a lot of folks' tax liabilities. And even if you're a single parent filing originally as head of household, the new standard deduction will be increased compared to what you're getting as a deduction now. And overall, what that's going to do is reduce your total taxable income, reduce your total taxes, and hopefully result in a larger refund to you at the end of the year. So this one change I do agree with, and I do like. Number 4, Trump is looking to eliminate the estate tax, more commonly known as the death tax. Sounds like a great idea, eliminate taxes, right? Let me explain how estate taxes work though, and you can determine for yourself if this is going to be a problem that you're going to have. Now, the estate taxes are a tax that triggers when you pass away or you die and you pass on $5.5 million of assets to your next of kin or to your beneficiaries. When you kind of sit there and think about it, you have to pass on $5.5 million. That's probably not going to happen to the vast majority of Americans. But who is that going to benefit? $5.5 million. I know, the rich folks. So by eliminating the estate tax or the death tax, all it's really going to do is benefit the wealthiest Americans, and it's also going to reduce the amount of tax revenue the IRS takes in to pay for things that the federal government needs to pay for, like our military, like healthcare services, like education services. So overall, eliminating the death tax isn't going to benefit average Americans. It's really only going to benefit the wealthiest in the US. Number 5, Trump is looking to change and add a child and dependent care benefit as a tax credit. And it sounds great. His whole idea is allow folks to take a deduction for the amount they pay for child and dependent care services, things like daycare, babysitting, having mom watch your kid while you're at work and you pay mom as a babysitter, for example, or even an adult benefit. Let's say if you have a disabled parent and you have hospice care or some kind of skilled care come in and watch your parents while you're at work. Trump is looking to allow folks to take a deduction for it. And it sounds awesome, but there presently is a tax credit out right now called the Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit, which effectively does the same things. It allows you to take a deduction for the expenses of up to 3 kids, not 4 like Trump's proposal. It will allow you to take a credit against what you have paid for these child and dependent care services. So I had to do an apples to apples comparison to figure out which one is more beneficial. Let's say, for example, a family is making $70,000 a year and they're paying $7,000 bucks, 10% of their income, to child and dependent care benefits. Under Trump's proposal, that tax deduction will allow them to get a benefit of effectively $840. Sounds awesome. They could save $840 bucks off their tax bill. However, when I compared it to their present tax code and their present tax credit, with that same tax credit, folks are going to get a $1,400 tax benefit or a tax credit against their income taxes. So $840 versus $1,400, it's a clear winner to see that the present tax code is vastly superior to average Americans than Donald Trump's policy. So all in all, I do expect and hope that our politicians looking at these proposals will realize that these sweeping tax changes are not going to benefit the lowest earning Americans or even middle class Americans, and only going to benefit the wealthiest of Americans and the largest of corporations. But again, time will tell. We'll see. Donald Trump's going to be president for 4 years, and he's got plenty of time to reassess and determine if these changes will be beneficial to us as Americans. So that's just my take. If you have any questions or any comments, leave a comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you think about Donald Trump's policy. I want to try to keep things not political, so anything about Donald Trump is this guy or that guy, please refrain from that. But any tax questions regarding his policy, please make a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I make videos every single week on tax policy, on business, on entrepreneurship. Make sure you click on that subscribe button right down here. And I look forward to seeing you every single week. Have a great day. Take care.